we don't need all this stuff. We actually need less stuff. Health is all about reducing the amount of things that you think you need. Oh, and one thing, I'm doing it in lunar sandals. God, that's good. Ow. Okay, that was the first. Yeah, man, well done, man. It's healthy, right? Natural. And I'm like, yeah, memento mori. I'll let you know what that means at the top. Hello, fellow humans. How we doing? So, Watzmann. This mountain, climbing, hiking, is, I think, the third highest in Germany. It's just pretty much on the border of Austria, close to Salzburg and Munich. I was in the area and got recommended to check it out, and I've gone on that recommendation. There's been pretty minimal planning gone into this, which is kind of how I like to do things. I think there's a balance, of course. However, that's what the adventure is all about. Of course, I've checked the weather, very important. It's looking very good today. The day today is Saturday, the 17th of June. The top of this mountain, which is 2,700 meters. So just to give you some context, that's twice the height of Ben Nevis in England. Depending where you're starting from. I mean, I don't know the altitude, how high up this parking spot is going to be. So we'll see. I am hiking this solo. Of course, brings up lots of interesting emotions. Excited, nervous. You've got no one to rely upon for reassurance. You've got no one to distract what's really going on up in the mind and the sensations in the body. So you're very present with that. If you want to be, of course, you could spend the whole hike listening to music if you wanted, but that's not what I'm going to be doing. These adventures, these hikes, these solo expeditions are really to get to know thyself, to learn a bit more about where my limits are, where my discomforts are. And there is so much wisdom within that. There's so much to understand about yourself when you're pushing yourself physically, mentally. And there's an optional place to stay at the top. There's a little hut which looks very cool. And then you can stay there, which I'm planning to do so, and then hike up for sunrise in the morning. It's going to be interesting to see how many people are walking the route. Reinforce, I don't know much about this mountain at all. I've done little research. I might have spent 30 minutes to an hour. Definitely not an hour. Oh, and one thing, I'm doing it in lunar sandals. So that's, shout out to Barefoot Ted for supplying me with some phenomenal bits of kit. If you don't know about lunar sandals, go check them out. They, I guess, promote minimalist footwear, which is more conducive to foot health, overall health, going through a tunnel. And I want to talk about this on this hike today because I'm doing it in the lunar sandals, which I'm very happy with. I'm very comfortable doing it in lunar sandals. You get a lot of looks though. It happens. People think you're naive, inexperienced, and you sense a lot of judgment. Whether on barefoot or in lunar sandals, there's this energy that's being received, and I pick up on it. The look on people, the lowering of the jaw, and the double takes. I do enjoy, I enjoy it because it provokes conversation about what our bodies are capable of. and our feet in general. And the whole conversation about minimalism, just in general, you know, we don't need all this stuff. We actually need less stuff. Health is all about reducing the amount of things that you think you need. Your body is perfect and it is capable of healing. And the barefoot journey and the minimalist shoe is a gateway to that. It is an absolute gateway to that. It opens the door to a mindset shift of what we think we need and what we think our bodies aren't capable of. Like the foot is a masterpiece. It's just a masterpiece. It's 26 bones, 33 articulations, 4 layers of arch muscle. Like, it's evolution at its finest, you know, because it's had to adapt that way. It's had to sustain this upright man. And we've forgotten this. We've forgotten that our bodies are capable of traversing lands, walking and hiking and running over different terrain. And we've been told that we need gear, we need something which isn't us. We've been told this over and over again, and repeatedly still do. You need something in order for you to be able. So Lunar Sandals, I'll see if Barefoot Ted can drop me some discount for the viewers. English distributor, we'll see. So I normally have a very small sole, but I've gone for a thicker one because you do get sharp rocks, and that is a factor. You don't want to be in pain. Discomfort's good, but pain isn't. You don't want to learn through pain. Another conversation in itself. I'm rambling too much. I've missed the turning, now I've got to turn back. Hilarious. Nowhere better to be to turn back on yourself. Hope that is the first turning back that I do today.
It's full.
It's full.
No chance.
I'm a good driver there. We'll see. Thank you. It's not full. Full to one person is not full to another. Taking a raincoat, it's not going to rain, but anything light is worth taking that you might need, even for the wind, cold. Like, that does a better job than some sort of fleece for keeping you warm. So it's going in. We begin. It's amazing actually how you have all these ideas, thoughts in your head about what's going to be like. It's sometimes inescapable. Just speaking to some guy, and he was very chilled about walking up before just sleeping on a rock. And hello, sleeping on a rock and then just traversing the 3 peaks, coming back for 7 hours. It was very relaxed. So it just feeds into more information about it, and then what that now looks like in my mind. The mind plays tricks on you if you observe it for what it is. It's really just emotions arising from the unknown. How much can we surrender to that? And just breathe into doing what we can in this moment. So I'm going to take it very easy for these next 4 hours. Just very slowly get up to Hocheck, stay over at some point. Where that is, I don't know. Now this, my friends, is a cowbell. Loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is the richness of self. It's one to chew on. Loneliness, but solitude. I've almost sought loneliness to overcome it in previous trips. Cycling to Turkey from London, I was facing my fear of loneliness. One of my biggest fears was that I would grow old and experience a majority of loneliness. It's so prevalent in our Western world. It's important to spend time alone. I think it's inherent in us as humans. Yes, we're social animals, we need to bond with others, but it's not until we have solitude that we can really see what's happening and understand what's going on within, to reflect, to process. For me, it's like dropping in to the immediate environment and out of other distraction, busyness. Hello. There's people everywhere. No escaping it. And that's good. I'm glad people are up here. It amuses me when people moan about others in outdoor environments. We should really be encouraging that they are seeking the same things that you are, that they're finding time away from the perpetual city life and doing something that's conducive to health, to well-being, moving their bodies, promote it, don't matter how busy it is. So the Watzmann Trail, it's been relatively simple thus far. I've probably walked about an hour. It says about 2.5 to go. Not that I'm counting. That's fuel benefit. Trails have been pretty much like this the whole way. You know, mountain bikes, etc. People coming down, no one going up. It's a little late in the day though. Maybe there are many people just going at the same pace as me behind. So the sandals are off. My feet were just sweating so much with the rubber, which is kind of evidence for what actually goes on in the shoe that we don't see. So your feet will sweat. If you've got socks on, your feet will just be in that moist bacteria all day. It's really not a good environment for the foot. So I've gone barefoot, which is serving me a lot better. So the feet are actually cooling down now they're in contact with the earth. And the pace is slowed, but I feel like I'm enjoying it more because the pace is slowed, and you cannot be nothing but present to the sensations that you're feeling in the feet and looking obviously where you're going, what to not step on. How it was always meant to be. So I had a little knee pain. I've got a bit of a theory about that. Now, if I have nothing on my feet and I've got a little pain sensation, then that pain will tell my foot and my body how to move. And I feel like that's course correcting my posture. So if you've got bad form, say, of walking, or the pattern, the gait, whatever it is, if that is not in alignment, then you will get pain or discomfort in a certain part of your body. Now if you remove the shoes, you will course correct, and now the knee pain's gone away because it's almost signaled to my foot not to place it there where the pain is, so the foot moves appropriately back or switches to maybe more of a flat-footed step. Hello! Good hike? Yeah, his feet were sweating. It's a lot cooler. All the way to the top. And of course, the conversation draws them in. The curious folks who are interested to know and open-minded enough to learn maybe what the reason is of the bare feet. Why would you do that sort of thing? So interesting to me that people have a very different perspective. Like there's such a contrast between people who kind of get why someone would want to go barefoot climb a mountain and people that don't. It's not like an invention, you know, like hello. It's not like a car where you know, oh, I don't know why you'd want to drive that. It doesn't do this, you know, or like something external that you have an opinion on. It's your feet, and everyone has them. But there's such a contrast between why you'd want to not put something on them and why you would. Some guy there just goes, yeah man, well done man. It's healthy, right? Natural. And I'm like, yes.
Sleep on the mountain?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Wow.
Like the old days.
Yeah, that's. I like this.
But
I like
you
this.
have to be careful because if they get you, you have to pay a lot of money because it's not allowed.
Oh really?
Yeah, but there's nobody coming.
But don't put light on because then they wonder like, what is there light problem?
Yeah, of course.
So just no light and it's easy.
Uh-huh.
And try to hide somewhere.
Oh yeah, I will.
But no- but
In a
nobody
cave.
comes.
In a cave. So you're not allowed to camp on the mountain. So if anyone asks, I wasn't here. Try to nasal breathe as much as I can. 2 reasons. Nitric oxide, very important. And you let off a lot of water when you mouth breathe, which you wouldn't think about. You wouldn't even know about. Also, taps into the parasympathetic system, rest and digest. It could be related to calorie loss, you know. If you're regulated and stressed, you could be burning more calories. All these incremental things that we can be doing. Altitude is definitely taking effect. Must be about 1,600 meters, roughly. And the same amount of effort requires more energy. So yeah, ow. Okay, that was the first rock that I've just stood on. There you go, live in action. And we're gonna get a bit of blood. Oh, it's gonna happen. That's what happens when you do not pay attention. It's all good. Generally, just get one cut on my foot anyway. It's always one. Get out of the way if anything. So apparently it's another 2 hours to the top of there. Here's pretty good for now. Take some respite. And yeah, I think I made it in what? 3:35, but I was barefoot for about an hour and a half of that. I think I'm gonna go up and sleep under the stars. So let's have a quick check-in. So I've just been to something Haus. What is it? Yeah. Watzmannhause. So that is about 2,000 meters. And I'm going up there. It's late in the day though, but I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm gonna go sleep rough up the top. So I'm ready for that. Mentally, that's not a problem. And I'm feeling great, feeling very good. So, see how I get on. Apparently it's about 2.5 hours to the top. In Sandals, probably doing 2. So, that's the vibe. And it's 6:30, it's 6:45 now, so 2.5 hours will be sunset when I get to the top, which will be perfect. And if there's nowhere to stay, I'll just come down. I think they've got dorm rooms here, which is pretty handy, 2,000 meters. And if not, you know, it's not going to be that dark tonight. No clouds in the sky. Hocheck is the next point of call. That's where I'm heading. I've seen no one go up in the last hour. Everyone's coming down. But we'll see how I get on. Memento mori. I'll let you know what that means at the top. I feel like I'm halfway from, you know, the refuge to the top. And I've only been walking for about half an hour. But you know, just be in this moment. Don't need to think about what's up there or what's down there. It's a bit of scrambling now. I wanted to show you the scrambling section. So the camera actually has to be put away for now because I'm going to need all 4s scrambling up there. So I just had to get the camera out because I've seen a mountain goat just absolutely smashing the descent. So I've made it to the hut at Hocheck, and it's about 100 meters below the Watzmann official, which is where I'll be going tomorrow morning. Let's get my head down, to be honest. I'm pretty shattered. That last 2 hours was, yeah, challenging, and it was interesting, but generally pretty good. Felt great. Legs were strong. Did it for all the sandals. Yeah, feels good. Feels very good to be up here. About to watch the sun go down. So yeah, that is the route tomorrow. Yeah, it's kind of the top really, isn't it? I mean, that does look pretty gnarly, but we'll see how I feel in the morning. I'd be happy with this. This is pretty magnificent. I'd be happy with reaching this point. Feels good, man. Feels good. The best shot. What was your name?
Milos.
Milos.
Milos, yeah.
Do you mind being on camera? Okay.
No problem.
So this guy and his 2 friends came up. Took them 10 hours somewhere east. Very challenging route. Yeah. So I get to share the evening with them, which is lovely. Guten Morgen. Whew. These guys just come up for sunrise. The stay in the hut was reasonable. I mean, yeah, it was good sharing with 3 other guys. It's pretty magnificent leading up to this. Just absolutely incredible. Gonna get moving now, get warmed up, and yeah, 7 hours descent, different way. That's gonna be fun. Put shoes on, sensible. Just because my sandals were not necessarily too slippy. The grip was good, but yeah, I think the sweat combined with the incline wasn't in my favour. So we'll see how the Vivos go on today. But these have minimal grip too. Anyway, good morning. This is my views. Excellent work, and I'll be descending today. I'll be taking on that very soon. It's only about 100 metres up from this, so it'll warm us up, and then we'll climb over 3 peaks and down. Whew, it's gonna be fun. We are in the Watzmann region. I don't even know where we're going, but up is the direction. Watzmann, we've come from Hocheck, stayed in the hut, of course, and that was pleasant. It was very nice. I got the short straw, stayed on the floor, late arrival, and it was nice. Yeah, there was 4 of us in there, so it's quite cosy, but it was perfect. I haven't climbed many mountains when there's a hut on top, which is insulated. Anyway, what was your name again?
Milos.
Milos from Serbia. Dobar dan. Excellent. Love it. So yeah, we're about to traverse all the way to the top, probably about 15-20 minutes, 30 minutes to here from Hocheck. But it's been pretty smooth so far, pretty simple. No ropes for me. I'll let you know if I do need them, or if I did need them. This was constructed on this date when I was born, and then amended on the same date 4 years later. Some people celebrate with the beer. I celebrate with the green tea, matcha. Send that over to Hocheck.com. Green tea, most antioxidant dense plant on the planet. at the kind of final peak where I'll be sharing something with you. I hope you can hear me with the wind. It's pretty mild. It's perfect conditions. Memento Mori. So this coin I've been carrying now for the last few weeks, and where did I hear it? I heard, yeah, around holiday talk about it. But Memento Mori, it means you are mortal. Remember you are mortal. You will die one day. Back, it reads, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, what you say and think. Yes, it's challenging. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, there's uncertainty. Yes, it's frightening at times, of course. So the story of that in the Roman Empire, when someone led the army, like a powerful leader led an army to victory, they would come back to Rome, parade the streets, you know, have everything they wanted and just celebrated. And the king would get a servant to whisper in the ear at the moment that there was like the pinnacle of celebration for this person. And the servant would whisper, remember you are mortal, memento mori, just to bring the ego down, to remember that you will die one day. And I don't think that was to seize the moment, it was generally to bring the godlike energy down to earth that I'm sure was felt. And I think we can learn a lot from that. It's not just seize the day, it's not just party hard, it's remember you are mortal, you will die one day. You're nothing more than that. So do great things, say great things, and think great things. Since we traversed the 3 peaks, we're coming down what I'd say the back of the mountain, and you come down into the valley back to where we began, and the descent is relatively quick. There's a lot of scree, there's a lot of scrambling needed. You know, all fours, crab positions, going down, following the flags, of course. Following the flags. I mean, they're very handy. They make it really easy, if I'm honest, in terms of losing direction and stuff. Sometimes I like to get lost. Sometimes I don't mind going off the path and finding my own way. Metaphor, maybe. But yeah, it's super simple in terms of direction. You know where you're going. You don't feel lost when there's a flag every 10 meters. Other than that, I feel like I've managed it pretty well, even with no gear at all. So it's advised to take a rope or a carabiner and whatever the technical name is. Which you see people take, but you don't really see anyone using it. I'd say, yeah, if you're not an experienced climber and you wanted to take on that route, then definitely get yourself a little rope. Because there are like 3 sections, I'd say, there. It's very edgy. Edgy, whoa. Capturing it all on camera today. So there are sections, there are about 3 sections. Jesus, see what I mean? So footwear, I don't think it really matters what footwear you've got. Stiff soles, 300 pound Scarpa boots. Loose rock is gonna impact your stability. Let's just put it that way. When you got barefoot Vivos on with, they're like bowling shoes. They're like bowling shoes because they have zero, they're like designed with no grip, just to make it even more minimal, which I love, and they've been fine. I'm just feeling every rock, every single rock. So if I haven't mentioned, I have changed my shoes on the descent and actually traversed out. I made it up to Hocheck in sandals and parts barefoot, but beyond that, I was losing my footing quite a bit with the sandals, and my foot was moving around quite a lot. So I did change to the Vivos, which, yeah, you probably can't do it in any other minimal footwear. Barefoot's not really a thing. There's a lot of sharp rocks. I mean, I'm feeling it in the Vivos. I'm feeling a lot of sharp rocks. Everything I feel, which is great, making the feet stronger, and it's allowing me to move and shift my position a lot more easier as we continue to descend over 2,000 meters into the valley of the shadow of life. We just found a lovely little watering hole. Don't miss this spot if you do the route and you come off the back. There's a sign that says Watzmann, and it's a little watering hole, cheeky watering hole. I'm sure it gets chaotic in the spring, but now it's very tame. You can tell by the size of that gap and the drop. There's an incredible waterfall. But yeah, not much rainfall of late. So we came down off the mountain, which was fairly challenging, as I've mentioned, and into the valley after staring at it for 2 hours, which was a moment. Yes, reflections and advice perhaps. So just to finish off that, we came down into the valley, which felt like a desert at this time of the year. There's no river to be seen, so kind of splashed about a bit and pretended to be in water, which was actually very pleasing. And then we made it to a lovely little hut. I mean, the infrastructure here is really set up, well, obviously mainly for skiing, because it's so common in the winter, with just pure snow every single year without fail. I mean, I was speaking to one person and they said they had snow in June once. So you just don't know the weather. Weather's quite interesting. It's similar to England, you just don't know. Coming down this trail now, I mean, I ran from this little hut where we had a nice lentil stew. It was very nice. And came down. I ran for about an hour and a bit. Took an hour and a bit. It said like 3 hours. All the signage is so targeted at the real easy walker, the lower ability walker. But that's okay. I think it's good to overestimate. I mean, they have to. Think about all the emails they'll be getting from people who are just like, oh, you said it was this. You're gonna overestimate. Anyway, I'm rambling. So, oh, look at that breeze. Oh, the breeze. Yes, so the mountain has been accomplished. I'm pretty happy, pretty dazed, and very content. The feeling you get when you come down off a mountain. I mean, actually, there's no more elation actually than when I reached the top last night, and I was just like, wow, this feels very, very satisfying. All in all, a phenomenal route. The infrastructure really is set up for it. The hut, the house at the top, which loads of people stay at, and it's very friendly atmosphere, of course. I think generally people go up and stay at the Watzmannhause, book ahead, sure. They told me they did have a room, so you know, not always needed. But yeah, I hiked, could have stayed there, and a lot of people got up, you know, 2 hours before sunrise, which would have been about 3 in the morning, to hike up. I mean, I just opened the door and had a little look, and it was epic. So that is generally what people do. It's just an awesome mountain to come and enjoy, and it's quite easy. As I said, there's so many little things that I've mentioned about the route. It's essentially route marked the whole way, which is fascinating to me, because I've never climbed a mountain that is essentially got arrows all the way up. It was definitely great to meet Miloš. I think it was sensible to do that traverse with someone else. That's a bit of a takeaway. I did see people do it solo. Again, it really comes down to your ability and your confidence, but if you can do it with someone else, for sure, take the opportunity. And moments shared are the most fulfilling. What was it on Into the Wild when he said, happiness isn't happiness unless it's shared? Is that my butchered takeaway? No. I'll leave you with a quote that I said yesterday. Loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is the richness of self. Thanks for watching, peeps. Really appreciate it. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. If you found this beneficial, let's communicate in the comments for sure. I will get back to you. And until next time, more minimal barefoot adventures. Of course, it's been my pleasure. And yeah, hit that subscribe if you found this beneficial. Anything you took away from this, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, just hit me up and I will definitely get back to you. Take it easy.